Crypto charts. Still kind of wrecked. A little bit of a thing today. I feel like every time we go up by like a percentage point, everyone's like, oh my gosh, we're so back. Still a long way to go. But you know what? Screw the bears. Screw the bears. I know there's a lot of fear still out there, but we're doing okay. We're doing okay, guys. We got some great stuff to cover today. We got some macro stuff. We got some Bitcoin stuff, some Ethereum stuff. Charles Hoskinson's let us know the beard is back. It's very important news, guys. The beard is back. Beard is back. Charles sent me a message today on X saying, Lark, the beard is back. Good news for Cardano holders. All right, so let's be serious now. Good to serious news, okay, guys? Serious stuff. Okay, recessions and bear markets and stuff. Okay, man. Stick around in the second half, of course, answering your questions as well. S&P 500, still just, it's, I guess, Labor Day in America. Come on, Americans, get back to work. Time to pump markets. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Anyway, we'll see how that plays out on market open. Seen a lot of interesting charts shared around, and sometimes you really have to look at the data on charts in order to really see what's going on, right? Because it's so easy to draw fascinating conclusions if you just exclude certain things. No shade at Kurt here who shared this chart, but I've seen this one shared a lot. And another one that's been shared a lot has been the every time the Fed cuts interest rates, it leads to like an immediate recession and it's super bearish. That chart that I've seen shared around probably 100 times by now on X always seems to exclude all the times that it didn't lead to a recession and markets actually pumped afterwards, like 1995, 1998, as more recent examples, even 2019. Really, I mean, come on. It's not like rate cuts magically knew COVID was coming. Or did they? Probably not. So there's all this stuff. Anyway, so U.S. credit card accounts delinquent by 90 days or more. Now, this is being pointed to as, oh my gosh, look, we're at 11% of U.S. credit card accounts are delinquent by 90 days or more. This means a recession's coming and everything's really, really bad. But as Amy astutely points out here, based on this chart, the spikes occurred in the recession, the one that 80% of our country is currently experiencing. Very, very true. The spike usually occurs in a recessionary period. People can't find jobs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So perhaps the USA has been in a recession or recessionary-like conditions, stagnant inflationary period, even though inflation is down. What's interesting is that these big spikes in inflation tend to come at the end of a recession period, which is very, very interesting. Now, 2022 technically had a recession. 2023, obviously not. 2024 has not. I know the average U.S. consumer in a way is hurting, but there is no recession currently. And usually these kind of credit card spikes come at the end of a pain cycle for consumers. Can still go higher, of course. You can see back in the 2008 financial crisis, the GFC, we saw credit card delinquency rates spike from around 8 to 12, 13, 14%, something like that. So a pretty big spike there. Current 11% is big, but it doesn't mean that a recession's around the corner. Some consumers are hurting, but usually that happens near the end of the pain period, not at the beginning of the pain period. Mike here pointing out bear market indicator back at 70%. Interesting. This looks at stuff like unemployment, private sector, financial balances, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So another one of those things is saying, hey, recession coming soon. But then all this other stuff says, hey, actually, all that's just wrong and stop being bearish. This resonated today. What do men actually want? Centralized, censorship-resistant money, which can't be debased by the government. Classic. It's just brush those bear vibes out of the room, man. Get out of here, bears. Get out of here. No bunch of sticky honey eating sticky hands around here. Come on, man. $100 billion asset manager Van Eck predicts Bitcoin can reach $2.9 million per coin by 2050. And all I have to say is, Van Eck, you need to up those numbers some. Why so bearish? Let's go full sailor on this, man. $49 million by 2050. Come on, man. Look, if Bitcoin goes to $2.9 million per coin by 2050, it's insane. I'm going to be old by then. Gotta get a bit old right now. I'm not even 40 yet, but really old by then. Anyway, besides the point. I could dig that. If we hit $1 million in the 2030s, you assume for diminishing returns across cycles, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's not so crazy, is it? $2.9 million by 2050. Can you hold on 25 more years, guys? It's crazy to think that in 25 years, I will still be holding Bitcoin. I actually bought some, it was dirty, felt a little bit dirty, but I bought some Bitcoin ETF today. I know. But 2 reasons. One, my hands are kind of tied portfolio-wise until I set up new tax residency in Dubai, which is going to be at least a month from now. 2, I thought, you know what? It's time to start adding a little bit of that in to my New Zealand-based stock portfolio, buying actually the VanEck Bitcoin ETF in Australia, so listed on the Australian Stock Exchange. Don't know. It's interesting. It's a mixed feeling buying a Bitcoin ETF. It's like it's there, but it's on my stock brokerage. It's not really my Bitcoin, is it? It's VanEck's Bitcoin. Anyway, besides the point, we got some of that. It'll be tax efficient later on. There are no capital gains tax on stocks here in New Zealand. So stack up some Bitcoin over there. It'll be fantastic. Hey, by the way, guys, in the chat, Jesse is sharing a great airdrop opportunity. Go check it out. Go check it out right now. Check it out. Alpha, quick, in the chat. Go find it. Anyway, continuing. When will crypto top this cycle? Top in recession soon, says 13.8% of respondents. Perhaps this is the contrarian take. This is the most unpopular of the options at 13.8%. Perhaps the contrarians are the correct ones. The consensus view, market top still coming in 2025 with basically a complete even split between it's either going to come in Q1 or Q4 2025. All right. Let me know what you think. When do you think the top is going to be coming in for this cycle? Is it already in Q4 this year, Q1 2025, or Q4 2025? Hit me up in the comment section or in the chat now. Someone's saying camera out of focus, Lark. It looks okay on my end. It could be a buffering issue. Sometimes you get that coming through. It should be at 1080 recording, which should be pretty good quality, but it's not always the case. Anyway, continuing. We do have FTX money coming later this year. Now, Marty Party shared this money to be returned to creditors starting in Q4. I think the case is supposed to be settled in October. If I remember correctly, it could be wrong on that. How soon money then gets in people's hands is non-definitive. It's unlikely it's going to be resolved on October 1st. The money's going to be in people's hands on October 2nd, for example. You're probably going to need a couple months for everything to play out and money finally get back to creditors. And I don't think the whole $16 billion coming back. Last I saw was about 12.9 billion or something like that. So still coming though. Maybe it comes in Q1. That's going to mark the peak. How about that? That'd be funny, wouldn't it? FTX money comes 2 weeks later, market peaks, and it's over. I could see that. Real quick shout out to today's stream sponsor, which is iTrust. If you want a tax efficient way of trading your crypto coins, you might want to check an iTrust. I know Bitcoin ETFs are out there and those can be a great option for people, but this gives you a wide range of real coin options. Yeah, you got your Bitcoin. Yeah, you got your Ethereum, but you also got Solana and Dogecoin and Bonk and whatever else. A lot of stuff over here available 24/7, 365, like crypto markets actually trade. Plus, you can do in-kind withdrawals, so you can actually get that Bitcoin into your wallet in the future if you want to do that. You can make 1,000 trades over here and never once hit a taxable event. That is the grand thing with something like iTrust Capital. This allows you to wrap your crypto trading in an existing IRA or start a new IRA, 401k, whatever. And you can then have tax-efficient crypto trading. Pretty damn cool, right? They even have gold and silver real deal stuff, by the way, again, by the partnership with Gitco. So lots of cool things to love about iTrust. You want to get a $100 bonus for starting your account or just learn more about what they're doing. Link down below in the description. Thanks again to iTrust for sponsoring today's stream. Let's continue. Price of Bitcoin. It's doing things, guys. It's doing things. We are I am once again asking you, it's like that Bernie meme. I'm once again asking you, Bitcoin, to reclaim the 200-day exponential moving average. Okay. It's trying currently. Let's see. Reminder, so far, after the big sell-off in early August, we are continuing to put in higher lows. So that's good. We're trending up at the moment. Let's see if we can maintain momentum. But this is just a big, fat, nasty wall of resistance right in front of us here. So it's going to be a tricky area to overcome. We got the 50-day EMA. We got the 100-day EMA. We got the 200-day EMA. We have the bull market support band. We have the 62K resistance. But when we can get some definitive momentum over this and start closing up around 64, 65K, then we might finally be moving towards a real test towards 72K. And once 72K is broken, it's off to the races, baby. New highs just around the corner. When that happens, hard to say, but it's coming. It's coming. This can't last forever. Damn you, bears. Damn you. Get out of my house. Get out of my mind. You're in my mind, bears. Go away. Bullish case that remains for Bitcoin through the end of 2024. Wells Fargo and UBS both have approved Bitcoin ETF for their clients. Between two of them, they have $7 in assets under management. Between two of them is going to make a difference. $7 trillion with a T. 7 trillion assets under management. Obviously, not all the money is going to flow into Bitcoin, but you don't need all the money to flow in Bitcoin. Even a few $1 billion is substantial. So would it be $70 billion would just be 1% of assets under management. 0.1% of assets under management would be $7 billion, which would be almost about, let's say, about 40% of the total amount of net inflows into Bitcoin ETF products so far. Even 1 or 2 billion makes a pretty damn big difference. So this is going to be impactful, and that's coming to a market near you in a very, very short amount of time. Again, the FTX money's coming back. Genesis turning capital. Sell in May and go away is over. That's right. The summer vibes is over. Right? All that bearish summer vibes. Everybody's finally getting off the beach. They're coming home. Okay. Time to trade some magic internet money again, make a bunch of money. And of course, a potential Trump election, which I know people get very triggered anytime I mention the word Trump. I get it, guys. Look, vote for whoever you want to vote for. Current polling shows Trump with a slight edge, particularly in some of the swing states like Pennsylvania. There's going to be a lot of campaigning there to try and swing that, of course, in the Democrats' favor. But regardless of how the election turns out, you have to understand, at least at the very, very least, that crypto has become a major campaign issue in the United States, for better or for worse. And also that Trump seems to be the person who really is walking the walk. Again, he's got a lot of pro-Bitcoin people, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., JD Vance, all Bitcoin owners. You got Trump himself selling NFTs, holding Ethereum. So it's pretty big compared to the other team, which is not doing that stuff. So there's that. Okay. Karen Beer. It is also raining in Wellington today, as is always the case. Rainy and windy. Been super windy recently in Wellington, actually. It'll be interesting to see if a Trump presidency can really deliver on these things. And I know people say, well, politicians will say anything to get elected. They will say anything to get elected. But when they say generally populist stuff that doesn't really have the support of the big money, that's when they're just saying stuff that doesn't really happen. But when they have hundreds of millions of dollars behind them, which the crypto campaigns have given to them, the crypto PACs have given to Trump specifically, I would expect you're going to get some real policy concessions later on. Because why not? Why wouldn't you? It's an easy win for everybody. It's a good industry for America to be adopting. It's stupid for America to be attacking the crypto industry all the time. So you get a pro SEC crypto head. You get other positive things, positive regulations, holding Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset. All these kind of things become possible. And maybe not all that happens, but enough of it will. And you'll at least have positive momentum. You know, I was thinking about this too, is that, well, it's recession talk, right? Still doesn't happen. But I wonder if, to some extent, you're going to get like this Goldilocks period for the market. You get Trump elected. right? Again, I don't know how the election's going to turn out. Just we're speculating here, right? Trump gets elected. Markets get very excited because they expect Trump to be more pro markets, pro crypto, pro business, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You get a market rally until like February or March. And then, okay, Trump's in first 100 days. And it's like, well, you're basically inheriting a recessionary environment for the market. It's going to take them a while to sort that out. You'll have a recession, bear market sometime in 25 and then 26 and then 27, 28. We have an absolute just mega super bull run because now the USA is fully on board with all kinds of regulations and positive stuff. So yeah, anyway, to the moon says, are you from New Zealand? I grew up in the United States. I moved from the United States to New Zealand when I was 16. I've lived in New Zealand on and off, I suppose. I've lived in Ukraine. I lived in Russia and Hawaii and whatever since that time. But let's say I've called New Zealand home for 23 years now, although I am moving to Dubai soon. But then I'll be back to New Zealand later. Okay. This is a pretty good one here. Bitcoin critics be like, Bitcoin's down 8% this week. I'm not surprised. I warned you this is a bubble back in 2013. Don't bet against Bitcoin, guys. Honey here saying, I like this. I want to share it. I think we all had a great window of 30 days or so to buy our favorite coins at cheap prices. I believe it's closing soon, maybe a couple weeks of chop left. Already bought BTC cheaper. I know it's looking bearish, but that's when you buy right. If I'm right, I'll enjoy the next 8 to 12 months of a glorious bull market. If I'm wrong, I'll simply buy lower. So the risk reward here is worth it. Remember, tops are beautiful and bottoms are ugly. Still expecting new highs in Q4. Vibe on it. I dig it. Let me take my head off the screen here real quick. Axel here saying, if new holders entered the market but are now absent, it doesn't mean the cycle is over. FOMO will bring everyone back into the market. Any investor who has made a few bucks is hooked. As we approach the all-time high, people will start coming back in. No one wants to miss the free cash. Amen to that. As I said many times, number go up. Technology is what brings retail into the market. And as soon as Bitcoin cracks over 72K, all the media starts talking about it again. Normies all see, oh, they're talking about the Bitcoin stuff again. I guess I better go buy some dog coins now. That's how it works every damn time. You know it is. Jack is here saying, if you were to be in Bitcoin for a quarter only, then let it be Q4. Except for bear markets, it's the quarter that produces the most gains, and even on the median average, the most of it. Exactly. After 6 months of ranging and accumulation, U.S. elections seem like the perfect combo. We have like perfect storm situation coming ahead for crypto. As long as it's not some sort of massive macro derailment of markets, we are well set up for a bullish Q4 for the markets. And that Q4 could, again, see us break beyond the 72K barrier finally. And Q4s are the biggest moving months. I mean, look at these numbers here. This is Q4 on average, right? Look back at some of the, except for, the occasional bear market years. 2023, 56%, 2020, only 5%, 2020, 168, 2017, 215, 2016, 58, 2015, 81, 2013, 479. That blows any other quarter generally out of the water. Okay. So in terms of quarterly returns, Q4 is the one. Okay. Ethereum also having a little bit of a move today. Bullish engulfing candle on the daily chart, much like for Bitcoin. The assets move pretty much in unison, although ETH showing way more bearish tendencies at the moment, right? Way under all the major moving averages. Major moving averages trending down much harder compared to Bitcoin with the 200-day EMA flat and only a slight downtrend on the 50 and the 100, and basically Bitcoin sitting at the 200 EMA, whereas Ethereum is like way down here. We are $5,000 under the 200-day EMA. Jamaica Outdoors, what's up, man? Finally caught you live over here in Germany. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. Of course, we'll be changing the time of these lives in the not so distant future, but I'll keep you guys up to date closer to the time. Coin Mamba here saying Bitfinex whales buying Ethereum once again. Last time I posted about this, people said it doesn't mean anything, but then the ETF got approved. You saw a $1,000 green candle. Patiently waiting. Dig it. This thing, Ether Vista, Ethereum's new pump fund competitor. Now, apparently this token is up a lot in the past few days. I don't own any of this, by the way, but it's interesting to talk about because, well, we have a pump.fun competitor for Ethereum finally. All right, cool. And I know what you're thinking. Man, if this thing gets popular, suddenly we're all going to have to pay $100 gas fees again to do trades on Uniswap and Ethereum. Haha, low fees no longer, my friends. If, of course, EtherVista, obviously, if it takes off and they can launch some great memes over there, that's not just an absolute slaughterhouse like pump.fun has been, then maybe there's something there. Maybe we actually do get some more economic activity brought back into the Ethereum main chain and some cool new memes launched over there, but I'll reserve judgment for that for a bit later. I think we'll wait and see here. Solana also, chart-wise, just under the 200-day EMA, man. We're just at the bull bear line for so many of these assets. Absolutely crazy. How much money do I need to move to Dubai? Is it expensive? I think Dubai is one of those places where you can get what you want, right? If you want to have a more modest lifestyle, there's definitely more affordable apartments, more affordable districts, more affordable places to eat. If you want to live, the baller crypto bro lifestyle, there's definitely lots of scope for that too. All right, let's continue here. Ryan Watkins saying Pump.fun is the fastest growing application by revenue in the history of the crypto economy. $100 million in revenue in just 217 days. Hey, shout out to Aerodrome with 338 days down here. My Aero bags. Let's go. It's crazy to think about, though. Look at some of these. And look, I know some of these were, very, very early protocols. So they're, route to $100 million much harder because the markets were so much smaller back then, right? Pump.fun gets to stand on the shoulders of giants in its revenue collection because not only was it popular at the right idea at the right time, also everything's just so much bigger in crypto now. Back when Aave launched, I had a bag of ETH back in the day, which then turned into Aave. Oh, if only I'd held that ETH through the 2018 bear market, but I capitulated. Anyway, 2018, when this all launched, I mean, gosh, those were very different markets back then. People didn't even know if crypto was going to make it forward. It was such a dark time. Anyway, Pump.fun has done wild revenue. And again, it's an absolute slaughterhouse. We've shared the statistics on that. Basically, 99.99% of people who have ever bought anything on Pump.fun have lost basically all of their money. And if you've made more than $1,000, you're in like the top 3% of traders or 0.3%. It's like crazy statistics. You're so likely to just lose all your money on these things. And I don't know if EtherVista is really going to be any different. I'm not going to hold my breath on that. The meme market lost almost $8 billion of value in the last 7 days. Memes getting hit pretty hard right now. I like this one. Lastpiece.x. Wintermute investment funds on base. Degen and Benji. No Brett, no Mochi, no Toshi. Very interesting. Shout out to my Benji bags. Of course, I'm a Benji marketing partner. But also, if you want to see my full investments, you can see all my current portfolio holdings. You can see my pre-sale investments, all the other kind of stuff in the portfolio disclosures and the description on YouTube, pinned comment on X. You'll also find a risk statement there because investing in crypto is risky. You could lose all your money. Okay. But no, seriously, base memes, man, feel undervalued. They really do. Base has gone from 4 million monthly active users to 14 million in just a few months. What are these 10 million new users doing? It's a fascinating question. Base reached 14 million monthly active users yesterday. It was 11 million less than a month ago. Another 3 million monthly active users in a month. I know there's a lot of whatchamacallit. There's a lot of NFT mints and stuff like this going on. A lot of tasks that are part of the on-chain summer, and that's driving a lot of this user stuff right now. But there's not actually huge amount of super popular applications right now on base. I know there's a lot of games coming. There's a lot of AI stuff building over there currently. Obviously, Aerodrome is very popular. My Brett bags, cool. Some very under the radar memes. I think Benji and Miggles, both of which I own, have great potential when we start seeing more traction, more sticky normie interest in using base. A lot of potential there. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're not yet signed up to the newsletter, get signed up. Check it out. We have this beautiful Aave report we released last week. And of course, that's just one of the many things we do over at the newsletter. So this is like seriously high value altcoin report, very detailed, breaking down what Aave is, what the value of it is, all this kind of stuff. So Go check that out. We also have, of course, weekly airdrops, memecoin news, altcoin alpha, all kinds of stuff. You can check it out for free over at the website. Link down below in the description. Get signed up to the newsletter. We're also going to start posting a lot more articles over there. So make sure you follow along for that as well. Okay. Now, let's dive in. Let's answer your questions. Let's talk crypto. Hydrate, my friends. No one cares about Toshi and Mochi anymore on base. I never hear about them anymore. I still have small bags. The liquidity games, I don't know, man. It's crazy. The liquidity games right now on the meme coin games are so nuts. You see so many new memes launching every single day, and there's only so much money chasing so many memes, and a lot of it's just, musical chairs, right? So a lot of the memes that have already launched this cycle are going to go to zero before the end of the cycle. And I'm not saying those two. I'm just saying that's what's going to happen. Lark, what's your thoughts on Kronos as an exchange? And do you think they can reach the level of Binance and Base? I mean, so Kronos, the CRO token. So we have Kronos chain, which is basically the crypto.com chain. Crypto.com CRO token has relevance as gas on the Kronos chain, but also as, being something you stake within the crypto.com app to get cards and stuff like this. So there's a few different things there. Look, I like crypto.com. I'm a big fan of their company. I've used them for a long time. I've used their app for ages. I have their card. I've never really thought about the CRO token so much from an investment perspective. Can it reach the levels of Binance? I mean, crypto.com is one of the biggest crypto exchanges out there. So investing in the CRO token perhaps becomes a bit of a proxy for that. Man, I'd love for them to go public. That's a company I'd buy the stock of. That's for sure. Man, Bear Pig. That was a fun episode of South Park. What are your thoughts on LCX? Haven't thought about it in a very long time. Lark, is obvious that U.S. markets are manipulating Bitcoin, but if it's all OTC, how are they doing it? Look, you got to remember the Bitcoin ETF products create real demand for Bitcoin, right? And look, there's always ways to manipulate markets. I remember years ago, it was the head of the CME or the CBOE. I think it was the CME. He came out and said, basically, we want the CME to be where Bitcoin price discovery happens, right? So to the extent of that, and they were only cash settled contracts back then, so it's not the biggest impact in the world, but still, Wall Street loves manipulating the markets. Okay. How exactly they're doing it, there's a variety of methods they can use. And the same stuff the whales have been doing in crypto for a long time. To what extent Wall Street whales have simply been playing the crypto games for all this time, hard to know. Spoofing and dumping and all these sorts of things, spreading fear in the media, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Could Aerodrome go higher than $6? Good. Is it? I don't know. That'd be great. Why so few tabs, Lark? I know. We're definitely not up to our usual level of tabs today. I feel like we could have got a few more open there, but it's a Tuesday, guys. It's a Tuesday, okay? Didn't find as many tabs as before. That's just one window. If you're up 10 or 20x, cash it out, man, before it crashes. Amen to that. Kieran says, Lark, is Santa going to bring us those green cans? Hey, only a few more months until we have the Christmas pump narrative, guys. Santa rally, let's go. Lark, where are those funky shirts you used to wear? Just I've come full circle, man. Plain colors. Wouldn't even wear the red. Just my wife keeps buying me all these t-shirts. I just keep telling her just black or just white. That's it. Nothing else. She keeps kind of buying like, oh, here's a red one. I'm like, oh, okay, fine, I'll wear it. I like it, but if it was up to me, it'd just be black or white. Lark, when do you think we see a GameFi season? I have no idea when it's going to happen, but gaming as a narrative will take off pretty big at some point. When? I have no idea, but at some point we'll see definitely a move for games. Is that when something like Off the Grid comes out and gets a bunch of people excited for a more normie mainstream adoption kind of game? Yeah, we'll see. Also check out Aaliyah. I've not heard of that one. Thoughts on Sonic? Well, as a phantom bag holder, I am super bullish on Sonic. Let's go. Let's go. No, really though, Sonic's gonna be great. I think it there's enough mind share behind Sonic and Phantom that we could see that be a real sort of narrative later on. So something to watch out for. Are there any non-KYC exchanges? Are any of the non-KYC exchanges recommended? You know, I always have my reservations with those. If you want to have a non-KYC trading experience for trading purposes specifically, why don't you go use Apex? They're a channel partner, link down below in the description. We'll check them out, but it's on chain, right? So you actually maintain control of your funds through smart contracts. You can trade straight out of your hardware wallet, no KYC. So, you know, maybe that's an option for you. Lark, do you think the chop will last till around November? I don't know. I feel like sometime in September, late September maybe, or sometime into October, we're going to see some kind of more definitive move in the market. The chop can't last forever. Famous last words. No, really, the chop can't last forever. And I think as we move closer to Q4, we could start seeing things pick up. Lark never spoke about Thorchain. Well, that's not true. We made a video on Thorchain way back in the day. It's a while ago. We spoke about Thorchain a few times. I think we did do an article for them? Not for them, but on them. An altcoin review in the newsletter. Gosh darn, let me see if that was a while ago. So not to say we haven't talked about Thorchain. Definitely respect what those guys are doing. And I think when I can't remember if it was an interview or if I did a review for them. Let's see. Let's type in Thor here. This was back in like 2018, 2019, though. Yeah, Thorchain. Here we go. There we go. September 23rd last year. You're on the website. It's been a while. September 23rd last year, though. We did an altcoin breakdown on Thorchain. So we haven't talking about it. Just not that much. You know, it's hard to keep track of every coin going out there. Do you think the Durov news turns into a net positive for the Tom blockchain? Well, if Pavel goes away for 10 years, probably not. Not to say it's the end of Telegram or the Telegram open network, but can't argue that he's not an important driving force behind the whole thing. Have you heard that smoking chicken fish is going to build a real church? Awesome. Great. Smoking chicken fish to $1 billion. Let's go. I'll love it. I'll sell it all. Stream when Bitcoin is in price discovery. For now, it's a stable coin. Yeah, it feels like that. How was your weekend? It was good. Chill. Getting ready to move. $44,000 Bitcoin. Do you think it's coming? Who the heck knows? Look, if there's some kind of, let's put it this way. If stocks start bleeding out, Bitcoin's going to bleed out. We're at $59,000 right now, which is about, 15-20% under the all-time high of $74,000 reached earlier this year. And stocks are a breath away from hitting new highs. So we've definitely been uncorrelated to the upside. We do correlate to the downside most of the time, unfortunately. Sold at $1,200, please. It's not such a wild price prediction. I think $900 to $1,000 becomes probably a pretty reasonable area to watch for SOL at the market peak. Brisbane, what's up? Like Brisbane. It's a nice place. Flew in there. Was it April? We flew into Brisbane, but we didn't stay in Brisbane. We drove down to the Gold Coast and stayed in Surfers Paradise, but actually flew in to Brisbane, not to the Gold Coast. Easier connections from Wellington, anyway. Big fan. We did go to Brisbane a few years ago, though. We did in 2018, my wife and I, this was like the bottom of the bear market. Nobody wanted to watch crypto videos. We did it anyway. Thought it'd be fun. We went to Brisbane, went to, gosh, I never remember the name of this town. It's like 1798 or 1890, some name of the town, but as a number. Anyway, and they were doing this whole like Bitcoin adoption thing. And I don't know if any of that stuff is stuck around or not. There was a company that was really pushing sort of paying for travel in crypto, and they were backed by BINANCE and stuff at the time. And how much of that stuck around and how many of these companies are still accepting Bitcoin, I have no idea. But it was pretty cool to go to restaurants and cafes. And we made a whole video series. Look up Lark Davis, Australia, and you'll probably find that pretty easy. It's a few years old, but it was fun. Kind of cheesy video editing and stuff, but it was a good time. It was a good time. We paid for our tickets. We paid for our rental car. I think we paid for the hotels, most of them anyway. And there were, we're trying to pay for everything with using Bitcoin. And there were some hiccups in that. We had one of the hotel people, they're just like, I just don't know how to accept Bitcoin. So you can't pay with Bitcoin right now, you have to pay with your card. Okay, fine. And we had, like obviously the Australian government doesn't accept Bitcoin for visas. So we had to get a visa for my wife to go. And so we had to pay for that in cash. One of the cafes we went to, their internet was down. So they couldn't accept Bitcoin at the time. They couldn't verify the Bitcoin transaction, whatever. And so they could still do credit card transactions or cash. So I think we paid cash at that one. Let me think. There's some other stuff. We paid for all kinds of stuff though. Restaurants and stuff. Oh, I remember one time went to a bar to get a beer, and basically the guy asked me to pay twice because he didn't see a transaction. I got to show it on my side. It's coming through. He's like, yeah, but I don't see it on my side. So yeah, I have to pay again. I'm like, okay, fine, pay again. Whatever. But it was an interesting adventure, nevertheless, trying to live on Bitcoin in Australia for 3 or 4 days or whatever we were there. But we were in Brisbane as part of that journey. Went to some pizza place in Brisbane, got some pizza. It was a good time. Anyway, we're getting off. 1770. That's the one. That's the one, Jason. 1770. Lark, why are stock people reacting as the sky is falling? Recession is certain after the rate cuts, but we crypto people are so certain we're going to pump for sure. Why such a vast discrepancy? Not all the stock people believe that either, but this idea that we're definitely going to see markets dump post rate cuts just doesn't stack up historically. When there are emergency rate cuts, or when you have rate cuts that happen in the middle of a recession, which often are emergency rate cuts anyway, then you will expect more downside in markets. But when you have normalization rate cuts, as these ones are scheduled to be, markets tend to like it and pump. Look at 1995. Look at 1998. Those were bullish interest rate cuts. Right between 1995 and 1999, early 2000, stocks pumped massively. There was a whole .com boom. Maybe we're looking at the AI boom right now to an extent that's already been playing out. It'll only get crazier probably by the end of the decade. Wishing you and your family a smooth move to Dubai. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. If anybody wants to see a hippie beatnik Lark. Oh, yeah. Had the mustache and the goatee back for that video. It was a good time. Meridian Heights. I found a local motorcycle dealer who accepts crypto today. I'm going to wait for the next pump to buy a new scooter. Nice. I dig it. That's great. Now, one thing I always say, too, is if you find companies out there in the real world who are supporting Bitcoin, or in your community who are supporting Bitcoin, supporting crypto, gosh darn it, go there and buy something. Go buy something. Seriously. And I know what you're saying, but Lark, I don't want to spend my Bitcoin. You know what? Replace your damn Bitcoin, okay? If you buy $50 worth of Bitcoin a week, well, you know what? Next week, buy $100 and spend $50 down to your local business that accepts Bitcoin. Because I'll tell you this, we all want adoption to happen. Global adoption, mainstream adoption. And then as soon as somebody puts up a "we accept Bitcoin here" sign in their window, they're taking a big chance by doing that. And then nobody comes and supports them. So after a year or two, we haven't had anybody come in here and spend Bitcoin. Then they take the sign down and they don't do it anymore. Okay. So, support your local businesses that accept crypto, guys. Lark, do you speak Russian? I do. It's actually one of the exciting reasons to go for us to Dubai. One of the many reasons. Taxes are also going to be great, right? But also the vibe and the scene and big modern city, well-connected, close to our families, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But also speaking Russian, because Dubai has become a semi-Russian speaking city at this point. It's pretty crazy. I swear, like every second person in some districts is Russian speaking, whether they're from Ukraine or Kazakhstan or Russia itself, whatever. But a lot of the schools there also offer Russian classes. So for our kids, we're going to get them into Russian classes at school. So that's gonna be pretty cool and exciting. It's gonna be nice for them, beyond just sort of speaking at home or reading books and stuff in Russian. The kids can actually get like proper tuition in Russian as well. So it's not like full schooling in Russian, just Russian language classes, but that's still a big improvement over our current situation here in New Zealand. So anyway, Lark, do you think Ethereum will ever flip Bitcoin? Probably not. Or if it did, it would be very momentary, like for 5 minutes or something. Like XRP flipped Ethereum for like a few hours back in 2018, I think, something like that. But no, I think Bitcoin is most likely to remain the number one cryptocurrency asset for probably the entirety of the cryptocurrency life cycle, however long that lasts. Bitcoin can't even maintain above moving averages. How can you possibly be bullish and feed this to viewers? Hi, Euro Nation. Nice to see you. We talk about that, right? We talk about the fact that Bitcoin is currently showing weakness, Ethereum showing even more weakness, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. We talk about the narratives. We talk about all these kind of things, right? We talk about all this on a regular basis. You look at long-term investing versus short-term investing, all these sorts of things. Long-term, I'm a massive Bitcoin bull. Nothing's going to change that. Short-term, we can have all kinds of volatility. Q4 tends to be a bullish time of the year when we recover on those moving averages. And look, my dude, it takes right now a $3,000 move for Bitcoin. Let's just bring up the charts because this is an interesting thing. It's easy. I know it's easy to get bearish, guys. I understand. Okay, look here. All Bitcoin has to do is move 4.5% and it recovers all the key moving averages. Okay. If we go 7%, which is like fuck all for Bitcoin, then pardon my language, which is not that much for Bitcoin. Okay. Then we recover the Bitcoin bull market support band. I mean, perspective here. I know it's easy to, fall into the bear psychosis, right? And look, we talk all the time about how, you know what, maybe we're wrong, maybe there's a recession coming, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's how you have to position yourself in markets, right? Keeping it real. Bitcoin has been in a downtrend for 4 or 5 months now, putting in consistently lower highs and lower lows. Not great. And until we cross over 72K, it's not that much to get excited about, except just long-term stacking and accumulation, preparing for the next move. Okay? Hope that makes sense. Tell something in Russian language. I want to hear your accent. Привет, меня зовут Ларк, я живу в Новой Зеландии и очень приятно. There you go. Nice to meet you. Okay. Bullish on volcano. Bullish on my volcano. What are we talking about here, guys? Better bring a diving suit in Dubai. Crypto pit lord uses Lambo as a boat in city. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of crazy going on in Dubai. Definitely. John, we gotta finish up here in a couple minutes. Lark says, do you think that Sway is a long-term investment going to perform better in the 2028 bull run when compared to Solana? I know there's that narrative right now that it's the next Solana. It's got a lot of work to do to get up to that level, but certainly if you want to find some cryptocurrency networks, if you're looking for a next potential big blockchain, if you want to find one of those ones that has more upside potential, it's definitely Sway compared to Solana, right? Solana this cycle might only bring in another 5, 6, 7x gains, something like that. Whereas this could bring in 20x, just as an example, right? Because it's got such a lower market cap and more sort of narrative potential to be like the Solana killer, and people will all invest in it based on that. And in 2028, who knows? If they can survive the next bear market, then maybe they're going to be around for running that competition. But remember, this is not about Sway particularly, just more as a general thought. The history of crypto is littered with the ruin of many a dead blockchain. Okay, think about all the blockchains that no one gives a crap about anymore, man. Icon, Nem, EOS, Digibyte, Harmony, Zilliqa. The list goes on. Ethereum Classic, how is that still a top 50 coin? I have no idea. And on and on and on. Okay. Okay. Are you moving to Dubai for tax purposes? It is a part of the equation, but it's certainly not the whole picture. I don't think it'd be worth upending our entire lives just for the tax thing, although that's going to be pretty cool and attractive to not have to be paying taxes. We'll have taxes on the newsletter business, 9%. But personal income tax on crypto sales and stuff like that, 0%. That's me crazy. But much higher living costs too, like the rent and stuff. Especially we want to live in the Palm. It's going to be much higher. But it's a lot of things, right? It's schools, it's healthcare system, it's being closer to our families, because none of our family currently lives in New Zealand. It's a lot of stuff. And I've actually got a video coming out really breaking that down in more detail for you guys in a few days. So watch that whenever it comes out if you want to know a little more about that. When we cross over 72K, should I start laddering out, says Ezekiel. Up to you, of course, what you want to do with your money. Certainly, when we start breaking out in a big way to the upside, considering watching out for key levels to start laddering out, it's probably not a terrible idea either. The key levels for Bitcoin to be watching as we move forward, 100K, 150K, $215,000, which could be the peak top of the market. And I was kind of talking about this in a video I've made for you guys coming in a few days, but to reiterate some of that point is, if you want to start looking at laddering out, right? Imagine this. You sell a third of your crypto at 100K. You sell a third, not saying your Bitcoin necessarily, keep your Bitcoin, but a third of your altcoins, right? You can use that as sort of a guidepost in the market of where we're going, how we're doing. Bitcoin leads the way as always, right? So Bitcoin gets to 100K, consider selling a third of your altcoins. Bitcoin gets to 150K, consider selling another third of your altcoins. Bitcoin gets to 215K, sell the other third. We never get to 215K. We go back under 150K, sell that other third you're holding on to and get out of the markets, and you made enough, right? For example, right? It could be a way to think about it, not to say it's what you should do with your money. It's just a framework for thinking about how the market could look moving forward. Okay. Why is everyone sleeping on AVAX? I'm not sleeping on AVAX, man. I love AVAX. I got a big bag. Very bullish on its potential this cycle. Vote blue for Operation Choke Point. It has been a pretty crazy time for Democratic voters, right? Because you're looking at, if you're looking to vote Democrat, you guys vote whoever wants to. I know people are not single issue voters most of the time, although people are more single issue voters than you realize. But anyway, the current administration has been wildly anti-crypto. And what's wild is that they get to now claim like, oh, but we're the administration who approved Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs only because you lost in court. Only because you lost in court. Otherwise, you would have never done it. There's no way Gary Gensler would have approved those ETF products had they not got their asses handed to them in court. Okay, one or two more here, guys. I'm going to finish up. Cadena about to do a 17x against Solana and a 50x against the USDT pair. Is a big, that's fighting words, man. That's a big claim. That is a big claim. Avalanche will have a better return since Solana's already 20x it. I could see it. You know, it's what I was thinking about this the other day is like, part of me wants to like get on the Solana train and stuff like that. The other part of me is like, screw it, man, just buy more Avalanche. Avalanche is doing really good. I'm confused. I'm in New Zealand. We're moving to Dubai soon. Thoughts on WIF? It just popped off in the last hour or so. And to think I almost got liquidated last night. Whew. Congrats on not getting liquidated. That sucks when it happens. Look, meme coins always bounce back the hardest, don't they? And Dog Whiff Hat has not gone away. I think it's got a strong enough and organic enough community that's going to be one of the sort of, I hate to use the word blue chip with meme coins, because really there's no blue chip meme coins except maybe Dogecoin. We can just, Dogecoin's the OG, okay? But in terms of Whiff, it seems to have got enough of a positive catalyst and sticky momentum behind it to be paying attention to it as a tradable asset this cycle. What places have 0% taxes for crypto trading, buying, and selling? A lot of places, just not America. in America, you actually can use something like iTrust Capital, which is today's sponsor, by the way, to trade within a retirement account and have 0% taxes for your crypto trading, buying, selling, all that stuff. But if you want to actually go somewhere that does not have that, Dubai, all the UAE technically, but everybody goes to Dubai, right? Dubai, Singapore, the Bahamas. I think Portugal still has a 0% tax on crypto. I'm not exactly sure. There's a few other places that don't have any capital gains tax on cryptocurrencies. El Salvador, for example. El Salvador now one of the safest countries in the Western Hemisphere after the new president cleaned up the streets. Moon Lambo says influencers are thinking Bitcoin is going to $200,000. That means whales are dumping everything at $120,000 and front running. Potentially. You could also look at the majority of influencers will probably think that I feel like my prediction's relatively based in some kind of sanity. Perhaps I'm wrong on that, but I feel like a lot of people are going to be saying, well, Bitcoin's going to at $500,000 or something this cycle, which is too high. And as I've said before, maybe 215 doesn't get hit. That's the 3.618 Fibonacci line. Seems like a relatively reasonable target, in my opinion. Perhaps it's wrong. Perhaps it's right. Time will tell, of course. But my guess is that if we get up to $200,000, that's when peak euphoria and mania happens and everybody loses their minds. Because when you hit 200K Bitcoin, guess what everyone's going to start saying? No, dog. Don't sell now. It's going to 500K. It's going to $1 million this cycle. Look at it. Look at what's happening. Come on. It's only 500K is only another 100 and some percent away. It's going to 500K. Don't sell now. You're crazy. And then it doesn't. 200K becomes a very dangerous time though. I feel like if you can get 150K and above, probably becomes a very juicy zone to be looking to start exiting positions. And again, you don't have to sell your Bitcoin. If you don't want to, you can try to swing trade that between cycles. That's up to you if you want to try to do that. But when it comes to your altcoin bags, there's not a single altcoin you want to be holding when you go into the next bear market. Not a single one. Not a single one. I tried to rationalize with myself last time. Well, there's some altcoins I can hold now. Screw it, man. Not a single damn altcoin. Not a single one. Not a single one, man. Yep. I used to know this guy. His name was Jesus. Shout out Jesus, if you ever listen to these. And we worked on a cruise ship together back in the day. And he was before he was a waiter on the cruise ship with me. He worked as a male stripper. Very interesting character. Short little dude, huge personality. Anyway, he was saying, hey, you know, one rule about being a male stripper, because he was not gay. He was just a male stripper for whatever reason. He said one rule: never let them put it in, not even one time. Okay. I have no idea where I was going with that story. It felt like it made sense when I started telling it. Anyway, we're gonna finish there. I'll see you guys later. Bye.